So, this is part 3 of how I became a psychic and how I've evolved as an energy reader slash intuitive person over the last 9 or 10 years. So, in the last video, I was talking about the start of having some inner conflict around what people were saying and doing in spiritual communities and in intuitive energy worker spaces. And so, also during the pandemic, as I was running these energy schools and doing these channeled healings for people, I was also, we were all bored, and I wasn't working in my regular job as much because as a physical therapist, we were somewhat limited into how much contact we would have with people. And so I was doing a lot of trades online with different kinds of energy workers, tarot readers, Reiki people, all kinds of people. And I ran into some problems. What I ran into a lot, and I have the language for it now, but I didn't then. But what I ran into a lot was people projecting dark energy onto others and having a great deal of fear. And so I ran into a lot of people who would tell me or their clients that they had alien attachments, that they had energetic cords that were hurting them, that they had dark, like demonic attachments, that they had walk-ins, all kinds of stuff that didn't sit right with me. And I researched it and I read books about it and I tried to understand, but a lot of that didn't really sit well with me. And what it started to, the process that it initiated in me was a deep dive into indoctrination, cult dynamics, and manipulation. And so that struck about 2022, and I started to basically deconstruct my ideas, the ideas that I had adopted about spirituality, about energy, about some of the teachings that I had simply taken on at face value without critically analyzing them. And I learned, I did a lot of research on cults and spirituality, and at some point, I think it was during watching a Teal Swan documentary, I was struck with the fact that every single one of the spiritual teachers and people that I had admired throughout my exploration of energy and spirituality was human. I know this shouldn't be shocking, but I had placed so much, I had put these people up on such a pedestal. I had placed so much of my own gold on these people and assumed the best of them. And when I found out that the vast majority of cult leaders abuse their followers and do great harm, I mean, they do good as well, but they also do great harm, I was devastated. It shattered my worldview, and it changed the way I thought about energy and spirituality literally forever. And it's been now a couple years since that time, and I've been trying to cobble together how to be with this work, how to be with spirituality and energy, and without feeling idiotic or silly or like it was a crisis of faith, essentially. I mean, people will understand what that means if I say it that way, I think. It was a crisis of faith. I had been projecting God. I have been projecting the light onto others. And when those people proved to be human, I lost my sense of faith that there is a God, that there is a unity in the world. I was looking and looking and looking for someone that I could, or something that I could place that gold, that goodness onto, and I couldn't find a reasonable vessel for that. There was no one that could hold that projection for me. And so I had a crisis of faith, a total devastation of my worldview. And I'll go into part 4 and explain how I have resurrected that.